Most men don't become emotionally available overnight. You see, they train themselves to be that way because someone told them that opening up and being vulnerable was a weakness. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't show your strength. But when they did try to open up, someone shut them down and they haven't opened up since. They train themselves to be that way because the world or someone else has told them that this isn't good enough and he's just distant. I need you to understand something. That distance is calculated. That distance is designed. It's not random. This is what most people get wrong. Women often misread that emotional availability can be compensated by chasing validation, thinking that by them being vulnerable and requesting for the same to happen, the exchange will be fair and square. It doesn't. And what men then get also confusing is that they now see provision as a one-fits-all hat for all things when it comes to women. The thing, no one actually taught them how to feel safe within themselves. And what you don't know about emotional connection is probably costing you most of your most expensive relationships right now in terms of peace of mind and joy. A lot of us don't even know what safety looked like, which leads me to one of the guys I was working with. He was doing all the right things in his head. And like I always say, you can only do and know what you know. If you don't know because you didn't study, you didn't do research, and you didn't see it growing up, well, you're simply not going to know it exists. You're not going to know there's a better way to do things. This man wasn't broken. He was just never taught. You know, he grew up, had a very rough background, done well for himself, established a business. But then what happened was he didn't know how to go about understanding women necessarily. He grew up by himself. So the fatherhood figure, and here's the funny thing, I've got a dad, but I started to figure this out on my own because I know he didn't propose with no damn ring and he's been married twice. But anyways, that's a different story. How I rebuilt or helped him understand what he now needed to do in order for him to gain clarity was this. Number one, recognize, rebuild, and rewire. Inside my one-to-one coaching, this is an exact framework I work my clients through. Emotional tracking, safety creation, and boundaries without fear. Because real leadership starts with emotional mastery and not emotional shutdown. So here's what you can do right now. Safety mean to you? You see, what safety meant to me at the time was peace. The ability to know that regardless of what was coming at me, because I can't control that, I knew that I was in control. And I knew that I'd be okay. So what does peace mean to you? When you look at safety as this thing that needs to be ensured or reassured by an outside form, then it's not really safe because you never know what could happen. But once you sort of limit this thing to your parameters, then you're in control. And what I also say is, I call this the self-respect box. So any conversation I need to entertain, any sort of interaction that need to be had, if I have to step outside the self-respect box to entertain them or to have them, then best believe that that's probably the first and last conversation I'm having with them, or I'm letting them know very clearly that this is not something I'm comfortable with. The moment you create that box and you stick by it, it's going to be very hard for you to get into much more difficult or harder situations where boundaries are really being tested, because you've created a margin between your safety and what you're comfortable with. Number two, identify the last time you didn't feel safe and what triggered it. Now, what I always say to my clients as well is this. When you're going through what you're going through, understand something. We are all prisoners of our past. And that doesn't change, by the way, until we make an intentional step towards recalibrating or putting someone else on the driver's seat. Put it this way, you've been on autopilot this whole time until you press the button and you say, I want to drive, and you make intentional steps towards driving. You're going to carry on being on autopilot. Now, why is autopilot in this case is not necessarily the best case? Well, it's because it's based off information that you had gathered as a 7-year-old. So your autopilot is a child. So get yourself driving manually. And that's the sad truth. You're either driving yourself or someone else is driving you. It's as simple as that. Number 3, share one truth with someone you trust without needing a reaction. Right, so in this one here, I think it's about recalibrating your vulnerability. A lot of us have been wired to think that vulnerability is a weakness, right? Well, let me debunk that myth. When you hold on to your vulnerability, when you hold it tight to your chest, no one knows what you've done. It's just you, right? You carry the weight, you carry the burden, and it's okay, right? Here's what I believe happens as well. Unfortunately, the moment someone else asking you to open that door, you're scared. You don't have control over that door because you're not used to opening it, because you'd rather just hide it. Now, let me tell you the difference between someone that's vulnerable in the right way. So someone that's vulnerable that has emotional control. They're like, yeah, sure, we can go in there. This is the door. Now, I'm not saying everyone should have access to the door, because remember, self-respect. So the person that's coming into your private space and gets access to your vulnerability has to earn the right to do so. We've discussed this in some of our other videos. But now that you've done that, the moment they actually get inside, right, you're not scared because you're used to going there in and out. You're not scared to go in there, right? And that's real strength. Is real strength shutting down and acting like that door doesn't exist? Or is real strength being able to open that door up and down, left, right, and center, without any sort of effects? You see, the ability to navigate your emotions allows you to handle your vulnerability with emotional regulation, which means you're no longer attached emotionally to how weak that made you feel, because you understand that your actions did not make you. It's who you say you are that makes you. It's your identity, it's your legacy, it's your mission that makes you. And because you're able to separate the two, your vulnerability no longer has a hold on you, and it no longer manipulates you. You know, most powerful people are the people that cannot be blackmailed. If you keep holding on to your secrets, if you keep holding on to things that you've done in the past as something that you're so scared to let go of, and you're not allowing yourself to gain the true strength that you could have. But here's the funny thing. You don't see it that way. You see it as, oh no, that's how I stay strong. I pretend that nothing's wrong with me, right? Until someone's asking me to open up and I can't do it because I'm scared of what will come out. So learn how to open up. Share with someone you trust, okay? Right, so you don't become safe by being soft. Let's establish that. You become safe by being strong and still in all areas. Not just some, all areas. This has been heavily tackled, especially in my last point. You're tired of guessing how to grow, internally or externally. Click on the link below for my one-to-one and apply for my one-to-one coaching. Yeah, let's see if we can work together. And this isn't therapy, this is transformation. Yeah. So, guys, it's been real. I know today's slightly different. I've hired a new script writer, so I guess they're doing well. I guess you're still here. So just really looking forward to sort of seeing how I can add value to you guys and help you guys grow. But in the meantime, in between time, let's build better relationships, one conversation at a time. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you in the next video.